Hi there, this is Steve Spurrier. You can join University of Florida Hall of Famer Shane Matthews and also the two-time SEC Player of the Year every weekday as he brings you all you need to know about the Florida Gators, including news, analysis, opinions, and some of the biggest names in sports. You can find him on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Or you can watch him live at 8 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter.
Good morning. It is Friday. It is a live edition of Matthews in the Morning coming to you from the International Diamond Center Studios, locations across the state of Florida, right there in Celebration Point in the heart of Gator Nation. Comfort Temp Heating and Air. Comfort is our business. Peace of mind is our promise. Today's show will have JC. Then you'll have Win with JC. With all the championship games going on, NFL going on, you name it, JC will tell you.
Oh, man, can't wait.
Corn Dog Gators have a new offensive coordinator, Buster Faulkner.
Yep. So what is your take on that? I was thinking about what you would think because you know these offensive guys pretty well, and he's a Georgia Tech guy. And he also coached at Georgia, right?
He's coached everywhere, but he's he played at Valdosta State, so he's an air raid guy. He's been handcuffed. I have a lot of buddies that know him very well. They're very high on him. He can coach whatever he needs to coach, but he really wants to throw the football. He's handcuffed because of Haynes King and their head coach. Haynes King's a very average thrower. Now his backup, a kid named Aaron Philo, is the all-time leading passer in the history of high school football in Georgia.
Wow.
He broke all of Trevor Lawrence's record. He's a pretty good player. So
maybe Eric Philo can be a Gator.
There's a possibility of that.
Yeah. Well, why would he, work for Georgia Tech if he wasn't able to run his offense?
No. He's been there 2 or 3 years. He does a little bit of everything. That's what makes him so good. But he's a pass-first guy.
Okay.
But if Haynes King is your quarterback and he ain't real good at throwing,
you got to do what he's
run
good
quarterback
at.
power with him because he's a tough dude.
No doubt about it.
Dude.
That game was close. They played with Georgia. It was a 7-point game.
And they had Georgia beat last year. Remember that game?
They had him beat. He fumbled the ball.
Yeah. All right, so we'll bring some of these YouTubers. Go Gators on YouTube, brought by Quad Post. Shane, how do you see the new OC hire working out with Lagway at the helm? Do you think Faulkner can mold that offense around him to Taylor's needs? I don't know. I can't answer that because he may like DJ Lagway. He may want to bring his own guys in. I don't know the answer to that. JC, before I forget, we got to get to This Day in Sports, brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union. We're proud member Stephen Orr Spurrier Banks. On this day, JC, this is a very important day for a lot of bad reasons, but it's an important day. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Hang on a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 10 championship games going on.
Yes.
2 days.
Yes.
This Day in Sports brought to you, I already said all that. In 1992, the first ever championship game.
I was there. Birmingham, Alabama, 26
Alabama defeats the number 1 team. Alabama defeats Florida 28-21. The reason I say that is because I have been saying for, 33 years they should be paying me royalties for that damn game.
Yes,
not just that game, but every championship game.
Oh, yeah.
I told Greg Sinke that 2 years ago. He started laughing.
Well, you know what else happened is that you avoided a traffic ticket, a speeding ticket in the Talladega Forest. Right. Because
is that more important than the 33 years of royalties on 10 games?
Well, no, but it saved you $100. But yeah, I think
it would have been way more than $100.
Yeah, and maybe a couple points on the insurance. But who can forget that moment? And the thing is that the following year, people forget. Florida came right back to Birmingham
and won.
And won easily. It was in the rain, and they dominated the game. And then from that moment on, it was Florida, Alabama, basically in the 90s, in Atlanta's Georgia Dome. And so many memory finishes for both schools in that arena during that decade. And it's just taken off from there. And, the game tomorrow in Atlanta, gosh, I mean, this is something like, I don't know, the fifth. I've got it written down where Florida, Georgia, and Alabama have played in this game 2 out of the last 3 years, 3 out of the last 5 years, and 4 out of the last 8 years. And Georgia has gone 5 straight years. Well, I mean, when we got rid of the divisions, it's supposed to mean that Georgia wasn't going to make it again, right? But they made it.
Yeah, yeah.
Thanks to Texas.
Ron says on YouTube, brought by Quiet Plum, Shane's interception was a key to the SEC championship game becoming a hit.
Yeah.
It's the play that changed college football.
Yeah,
Changed
it started
the whole outlook of college football. That's why they did the documentary.
Yeah. It started the playoff, rather championship games. Yeah.
Don on Facebook Live wants to know if Tulane wins tonight, will they make the playoffs?
Well, apparently,
I don't know if they're going to win tonight.
Well, yeah, that's a tough game with North Texas, but I like the way Tulane's playing, and I got to be honest, when I watched them beat up on Memphis, they dominated that game. And North Texas is a very good team, but they've got a quarterback and a coach who are likely not going to be there next year. That has nothing to do with tonight's game. But the thing is that you can score on that team. That team doesn't play great defense, but they have the number 1 rated, I think, offense in America, something like that. If you look at statistics and if you look at the conference they play in. And I got to love it. I mean, here we have 5 games tonight or 4 games tonight, and we're gonna go through those on the Peachland Dental Picks contest. And as soon as I say something, Justin Cord, FLA, says, #fade JC. So if I can help you win by you going against my picks, I'll be just as happy for you. But all I can tell you is what I think will happen. And then I try to give you some info to go by. But yeah, I haven't been great. Now, last week was better, but we'll see what we can do here at 8:30. Who knows?
All right. I didn't get to see any of the game last night, JC, but it was a shootout, huh?
The Dallas Detroit Lions over was probably the easiest win I've had because these teams just can't stop anybody. Now, Detroit played more physical. Detroit was more disciplined. They didn't have as many mistakes, but Dallas got the shaft on just a horrendous offensive pass interference call at the end when they were trying to go in to make it a 3-point game. They did close it to 3, but they couldn't hold Detroit the entire night. And the Lions were just the better team, it felt like. So Dallas now at 6-6-1 is in peril. Detroit is 8-5. I believe that is their record after 13 games. And so with 4 to play, Dallas will pretty much have to run the table and hope. I think Detroit did themselves a world of good there. And then this weekend, you've got the Bears and the Packers, and we'll talk about that game. But that division could easily have 2 or even maybe 3 teams in the playoffs, the NFC North. So we'll see.
Andy's question on Facebook Live brought to you by Mel Law. What's my take on Billy landing at James Madison? He's taken over a really good program that Signetti built, and then Bob Chesney. And now Billy's going there. So
how about that? I mean, isn't that something? It didn't take
it just goes to tell you that coaches can't do anything but coach.
That's right.
Or they don't want to do anything, I should say.
Well, that's right. And Chesney to UCLA, I think, is a great hire for the Bruins. Only because he seems to be a guy that is cut out of the Signetti cloth, where it's all offense, it's all aggressive, it's the same style in my mind. I think I'm right about that. But JMU, if Duke wins this ACC championship game, and I'm not sure what the ramifications are for Virginia either, because they're not highly ranked. But if
I
Duke,
think they get in because they only have
probably
2 losses.
Yeah. But if Duke wins this game, and then BYU beats Texas Tech, which I can't see happening either, but it could, then, man, the committee's going to have some real problems. And if the mandate, and again, we go back to this, well, you have to qualify this way or qualify that way. If the mandate was always the 12 best teams, it's a pretty simple poll for me. But you've got to put in the 5 highest ranked conference champions, I guess. And then you've got these at-large teams and all the arguments that we thought we would do away with once we went to 12 teams, which now basically absolutely guarantees a 16-team playoff here soon. I think we're having that.
I say we go to 24 like FCS.
You want 24?
Why not?
Well, they do it in the
Is that gonna bother you? Gonna mess up your life, Jason?
Hell no, I'm all for it, man. Play as many as you can. Just let them out there and kill each other. Let's bet them all. I just, I love football. I love watching it. And, I'll be in Vegas in 2 weeks for the first round of the college football playoffs on the 18th and 19th of this month. In 2 weeks, I can't wait to go to the Circa. And I'm just, this is a great time of year. And then it's Christmas, right? We've got that too.
Jim on YouTube brought you about
Advent. It's Advent.
Jim says, does Billy's contract with UF have an offset for compensation at JMU? I don't believe so. I think Billy's
hell no. They're paying him. They're
paying
him anyway. They're just as incompetent as Lunatic State University, who hasn't even paid Orgeron off yet. I mean, these guys, these ADs, they just blow my mind. Whoever advises them, why I'm not hired to do that, that's beyond me. I should have told him.
Should have been an AD, JC.
I should have. Well, at least been an
advisor. I should have been a football coach. I would have been fired by three times by now,
and you'd be set for life.
About 60 mil in the bank.
You'd be my only client. No, it's true. I just don't understand these contracts. Were basically, and the same thing with Lane Kiffin. If LSU if Lunatic State University dumps him or if he leaves, which is very possible, why wouldn't it be? They still have to pay 80% of his contract off. Now, 80% of $92 million, everybody, what is that? We'll just take 18.4 away from 92, and that's how much money they'll have to pay him. So that equals 74 some odd, $0.6 million if he were to leave tomorrow or next week, or in a year, you take a year off that number and then go from there. It's madness. It's absolutely madness. I have no idea how Lunatic State is going to be able to pay these three guys, their staffs, their families, the jet, everything that goes with it. That state's poor.
Maybe they'll up the price of a beer at Tiger Stadium.
Well, they'll pay it if they win. Listen, these fans, they are so desperate to win. They hire a guy that's got one good win and no championships. But hey, go get him, guys. He can get you a first down. He can get you a first down. He hasn't proven to beat Alabama yet, but he can get you a first down, Tim Brando. So celebrate your guy, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that, Timmy. But he can get you a first down sometimes, and he did beat Georgia one time. So there you go. You got your guy.
He beat the mighty Gators once.
He did.
Electronics World, integration design specialist for smart home automation and entertainment. Let Electronics World bring the Florida Gators, college football, basketball, and the NFL to your living room. Go check them out, electronicsworld.net. All right, Jason.
Yeah.
Let's get to our Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's #1 choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte and surrounding areas. Go visit them at peachlanddental.com.
By the way, let us not forget before we get into this big football weekend, the basketball team is in Madison Square Garden. Yeah, and that's I mean, I know it's hard to get your mind wrapped around basketball, I guess, unless you have zero football to think about. But with the coaching change, I think Florida's been somewhat busy with football, and it's good. And now we've got a coach playing tonight. Our head coach, John Summerall, is on the sideline tonight with the green wave. There they are, right there, roll wave. And I hope they win, man. I hope they win, and this guy keeps playing. I just want folks to watch him more. I just think the problem.
But no matter what happens tonight, don't get too excited.
I know.
I have a feeling North Texas will throw all over them.
Yeah, it's possible.
I don't think their secondary is very good.
Okay.
From what I've been.
Well, no, I mean, it makes sense. They do have a few losses, but I think they've played very good football here recently. And this is his fourth straight conference championship game as a head coach. That's excellent. So the team that blows my mind is Kennesaw State tonight. And they're playing in Jacksonville, Alabama against the Gamecocks. And they're catching 2.5. They were a 100-1 underdog to win their Conference USA championship this year. And here they are playing for it. They were an abysmal failure 2 years ago as they entered this football championship subdivision. And here they are, ready to play. Or are they FBS? No, they're FCS. So as Conference USA, what is Conference USA?
They're FBS.
FBS. Jesus, I'm sorry. Okay, so they entered into
that's a bowl. They're in bowl. Just think of the
bowl subdivision, right?
The FCS is not
bowl championships. So Kennesaw State 2.5. I'm going to take them at Jacksonville State. They lost prior to Jacksonville State. We'll dig into this game a little bit more But I do like them going into this scene because they can throw the ball, man. They're the best passing team in Conference USA statistically, so I'm going to take them.
I'll take Jacksonville State.
You like JSU?
I mean, why not?
I tell you what. Here's another JMU. I think is just going to just run it up on poor little Troy tonight. They're laying 23.5, and the reason I say that is because they know eyes are watching them, and they know that they could actually qualify for the college football playoffs with a little help.
They say, what is Troy's record? You got any idea?
Yeah, they've lost I think 2 games, maybe.
That's it.
Yeah, they're very scrappy team. I beg your pardon.
They're 8-4.
8-4. It's JMU that's 11-1. Troy is 8-4.
And JMU's at home, right? Isn't this a home?
This game is a home game.
All right, I'll take the Dukes.
Yeah, Dukes beat these guys prior. Here's another rematch. We've got Boise State at home on the blue turf against Dan Mullen and his running Rebels. It's a 5.5-point spread. Boise won this game that they played earlier in the season when they played against each other. Boise won this game. Let's see. Yeah,
they won 56-31.
60-31 in it. So this is a rematch. The total here looks very attractive at 58.5. I would play that. But if I'm going to take the spread and the side, I'm taking Boise.
I would take Boise and the over.
Yep, that's right. So you've got JMU, you've got JSU, and you've got BSU. Then it's UNT against TU. I'm going with the coach. I know North Texas is favored here, but they're a lame duck quarterback and a lame duck coach. Tulane's got a lame duck coach, but he's
so you don't think the quarterbacks are going to play the quarterback, Mr. Maker or whatever his name is?
He's going to play. Yeah, he's going to play.
You think he's worried about going to Okie State?
No, I don't think he's worried about it. No, I think he wants to try to make the college football playoffs.
Yeah. I'm going to go against our coach.
Yeah, take
only
Texas.
Because I don't. Like I told you, people have told me their secondary is not very good.
Yeah.
And boy, the Mean Green can throw it around.
Woo, the Mean Green. All right, then we get into tomorrow. It all kicks off at noon. I'm going to skip the Western Michigan game. We're going to go straight to the Big 12 championship. A lot of people really concerned about this game. If BYU pulls the rematch upset here, that puts a lot of stress on some other teams, perhaps, like maybe the one in the SEC championship game. But BYU's catching 12.5, 13 points, depending on where you shop. And by the way, there's a new book in the state of Florida. It's called a prediction market. It's called, I'll get it for you here in just a minute. It's FanDuel Markets, I believe is what it's called. But it's totally legit. It was on CNBC. It's an alternative to the Hard Rock. And it is illegal. It's called Fanatics Markets. And it is a prediction market app that includes politics. You can bet on if it's going to snow in Russia. You can bet on the Ukrainian war. You can bet on sports. Yeah, not bet, but it's called predicting, but it's the same thing. You fund an account and you make a prediction, and then they use spreads and so forth. So it's another app to bet if you want it. And we'll talk about this in a few minutes. But having said that, they give you a little bit better odds if you want BYU getting 13. Hard Rock's at 12.5. Texas Tech blew these guys out 29-7 in Lubbock. But the key in that game was that they only scored 2 touchdowns in that game. Texas Tech did. So it's a defensive team. Texas Tech. Their defense is incredible. But they're not great in the red zone. I think BYU is going to play this one tight and stay inside the number, but I like Texas Tech to win.
I like the Red Raiders. I love their 2 quarterbacks, Baron Morton and Will Hammond.
Very good.
And as you said, they spent a lot of money on their defensive front. I'll take the Red Raiders.
Yeah, I mean, you're laying 13, but that's games in Arlington. Not quite a home game, but it's in Texas. All right, so it's a lot closer than Provo. In the SEC game at 4 o'clock, right after this one, it's Alabama-Georgia for the 39th time. This game, all signs point to Georgia, but don't they always? Don't they always point to Georgia? Isn't Georgia at some point in our lifetime going to beat Alabama in an SEC championship game?
I think they're going to do it in this game.
Well,
I'm taking the Dogs.
I don't blame you, and most people are going that way, but I'm taking the alma mater. I got to wave the flag. I think Alabama's still in if they lose a close game. I really do. I think they're in
no matter what.
Well, if they lose 45-6,
they're not going to lose 45. Georgia ain't scoring 45 points on them.
No, probably not. Then we've got the 2 games at 8:00, and listen, I'll watch one of them. The other one, I'm not really that interested in. But I tell you, this Duke Virginia game, QB is. We'll start with that one. Virginia blew these guys out just a few weeks ago. I see no pathway for Duke to win this. Give me Virginia. It's 4.5 points. I mean, my God, my God, 5-loss team.
I'm gonna pull for Virginia. I'll take Virginia.
Is Virginia a
I really
team?
don't care about this damn game.
Nobody does. I mean, what do you think the over/under on attendance? I'll set it
bet
at
there'll
26.
Be 40,000 there, maybe.
Announced 40,000.
Yeah,
that's what they say it is. But man, that's just so hideous. Virginia is 10-2, so they have a couple of losses. They're ranked 17th, I think, something like that. So they've got to look good if they're going to be one of the top 5 conference champions to get in a playoff. And then we finish off with really, I think, the game of the day. If you're looking at 2 undefeateds, the only 2 undefeated teams in the country is Indiana and Ohio State. I am impressed with Indiana. I am impressed with Ohio State, but I don't know how great. I mean, Ohio State just hasn't been tested this year, and maybe it's because they're just so damn good. And they probably are. They've got 2 wide receivers that are NFL players, Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith. These are the 2 best wide receivers in football, I think. And this line is 48 is the total. I don't see a lot of scoring in this game, but then I could see a lot of scoring in this game. I'm not really sure how to take this one, but I'm going to take the points with Indiana in Indianapolis, getting 4.5. Ohio State's one of the best teams against the spread of all teams. But their strength of schedule was 37th. Indiana's strength of schedule was 56th. These teams have not been tested. It's not like they played Texas A&M one week and then had to go to Georgia, or they played Alabama one week and then had to play Vanderbilt, or it's not that Texas and then they had to go play Oklahoma. They don't have tough games on their schedule. They just don't. It's just a fact. If you look at these schedules, their strength of schedules are weak, but they're very good teams, I think, because they have good quarterbacks and solid offensive and defensive lines. I'm taking Indiana. Screw it.
All right, I'm going to take the Ohio State Buckeyes, like you said.
The
only reason I'm taking Ohio State is because their roster is better than Indiana's roster.
It's so good. It's so good. But
that's the only reason I'm taking them. So,
okay.
I did see where the favorites for the Heisman Trophy, they're all like plus 150, 160.
Yeah.
It's Julian Sayin, Mendoza, and Diego Pavia.
Yeah,
one of those 3 is going to win your Heisman.
I agree with that. I think Pavia is hoping for a defensive struggle, a defensive battle, I should say, and an offensive struggle in this game. If Mendoza throws 3 touchdown passes on that defense, he wins. If Sayin throws 3 or 4 touchdown passes, he's winning. And if they both throw those touchdown passes, it's going to be a close vote. And Pavia is going to be there to watch. I really feel bad for Vanderbilt, man. They will never go 10-2 again. Well, maybe they will, but not anytime soon, QB. Vanderbilt has had the most memorable season of its history, and they're going to go to some silly bowl game. That's about it. That's too bad.
They'll end up in the Chick-fil-A Bowl or something.
I mean, that's great, but it's not the playoffs, and they should be playing a home playoff game. But that's life. We only have 12 spots. They'd rather have JMU.
I'm looking at Julian Stayin's stats. He's thrown for over 3,000 yards this year, 30 touchdowns and 5 interceptions.
No, and QB, it's true, but my God, when you're throwing against Iowa, Nebraska, Michigan State,
but he can't help that. It ain't his fault.
No, it's true. It's not his fault. It's not his fault. But
he's throwing completions. That's the key. JC.
Well, you
hear me talk about it all the time. Throw completions.
Well,
Mendoza's thrown 32 touchdowns with 5 interceptions.
Yeah, these touchdown to interception ratios are crazy, and I agree with you. I mean, these are 2 great players. Mendoza had the benefit of a game that was very close. It was the Penn State game, and he pulled off a miraculous minute, and Omar Cooper helped him out a little bit, but he still had to get the ball to him in the back of the end zone, and then Omar got that foot down. It was one of the biggest plays of the season of all teams that were playing. But when you watch Carnell Tate run routes and catch passes, he's Devontae Smith. He is, a Smith and Jigba. He is that kind of player.
They have receivers.
Good God.
Year.
Every year they're playing these guys that are first-round wide receiver draft picks. So it's It's impressive what they have at Ohio State, and that's why the thought of Ryan Day ever being dismissed from that school is borders on stupidity, not just lunacy, but stupidity. LSU is lunacy.
Yeah, before we get out of here, your thoughts on Penn State, maybe focusing on Matt Campbell at Iowa State?
He doesn't move the needle for me or get me excited.
He does nothing for me.
Doesn't get me excited at all, but they need a body, don't they? They need a coach. I'm surprised it's taken this long for Penn State. I really am surprised. But do
you remember when Matt Campbell was like the hot guy?
Yeah, he was
years ago, and I never figured it out because he wins like 7 or 8 games every year.
No, Matt Campbell was a big name. And listen, if you win 7 or 8 at Iowa State, you've got a good life. You got a good life.
Yeah. Yeah, but they play boring football.
It's just that Midwestern mentality. Let's just beat them up in the lines of scrimmage and not excite anybody and take that 21-16 game and be done with it. But it's Iowa State, and so I heard it's a great place to go, and the fans love to drink beer. Good God, they drink so much damn beer. That fan base probably drinks as much or more beer than the LSU fan base. So. It's impressive. It really is impressive, the following that they have at that school, and it's a good job. But Penn State's supposedly one of the, it's supposed to be a blue blood type job, even though I don't know if Penn State really is a blue blood school. They've won one national championship maybe. So we'll see. I don't know who's – and Notre Dame – somebody the other day was telling me about how great Notre Dame is, this, that, how much they mean to college football. And I said, how long ago was 1988? Can you remember 1988, what you were doing? Do you remember how old you were in 1988? Why is that? Well, I mean, do you remember what you were doing in 1988?
Yeah, I just came to the University of Florida.
Yeah, but how far?
Or maybe that was
how long ago was that for you? Yeah, I mean, doesn't that seem like
I was a senior in high school in '88.
So senior in high school, Pascagoula, playing in a downpour, trying to win a state championship.
We did it,
and you did it 7-0. But
what'd you say?
Wasn't it 7-0? I thought he told me.
No, we won. That wasn't the state championship game. We won the South State championship game 21-7.
But didn't you have to win the downpour game?
21-7.
That was 21-7. What was the 7-0 game?
There was none.
Oh, then he fibbed. He told me it was 7-0.
Yeah, he doesn't know.
Well, he forgot.
He wasn't there. I was in the game.
You were? Okay. I'll take your word for that then. But I'm thinking 37 years ago was the last time Notre Dame, back to my point, 37 years ago was the last time they won a championship.
Yeah.
And they're not playing tomorrow, by the way. So they're a little nervous. We'll see what happens.
All right, JC, before we get out of here, I know you're going to talk about this, but we're going to know Sunday who gets in out of Miami.
I think Miami's going to move ahead of them. Yeah.
Vanderbilt. They're out.
Vandy's in a bad spot, but because Vandy,
you think Miami or Notre Dame's getting in?
I think it's Miami if we have the scenario that would allow that. If they had to choose between those two, because you don't want BYU to win, and you don't mind Duke winning, but you do not want BYU to win if you're Miami or if you're Notre Dame, because that just moves everyone down a spot. Because you have to make space for Texas Tech and BYU. They're only counting right now, basically, they're counting on Texas Tech to win that game. That'd be just one team out of the Big 12, and that would then free up a spot perhaps for Notre Dame or Miami. But I don't know how you can't take the head-to-head game and make that the tiebreaker when all things being equal. And Miami is I think there was a stat, Mario Cristobal, before you cut out of here and we go to the other segment, Mario Cristobal said something that I think is really the bottom. It just says it all. And let me see if I can just give it to you real quick, because he was basically saying why Miami's schedule or Miami was better. Mario Cristobal says that it's straight up corruption if Notre Dame gets in above us, and we'll never play a game like that. That's we're never going to do that again. But it's just, I don't know how you can't. They both lost 2 games, and they have 6 wins against defenses ranked very poorly. I don't know what to make of it. How does Notre Dame?
I think they just need to leave them both out and put Vanderbilt in.
There you go. That'd make us all happy.
Solution. All right, real quick. John says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law. Look at what Matt Campbell's working with in Ames. facilities, resources, players. Campbell isn't working the same deck of cards other coaches are. He's a good I know, I think he's a good coach, but you got to remember, Matt Campbell had opportunities to leave, but didn't. He also has a starting quarterback in the NFL, starting running back in Brees Hall in the NFL. So, but it's a boring style of football. I think he's a football coach, but if Penn State wants him, go get him. But I don't want him as my coach.
Well, and one quick thing about this damn ACC championship game that Miami should be playing in. Duke is 7-5, but their loss to NC State did not count in the conference. Tell me how that is.
Well, that's right. They do. The ACC has one of those games every year. I don't know.
That's asinine. So Florida just got done playing Auburn, but it doesn't count in the SEC.
Right. It's so dumb. So dumb.
Idiot.
All right, JC, we're going to turn it over to you.
We'll pick some winners.
Florida Crackers, the brand for original Floridians, great food and southern hospitality in the center of the University of Brooksville, Florida, and also the Florida Cracker Oyster Bar in Keystone Heights. That's floridacracker.com. Take a quick time out, come back. JC's going to win you lots of money.
Lots of money. Fade JC.
PodUp with Matthews in the morning from the International Diamond Center Studios. We'll be right back.
Oh, Jesus.
Our premium sponsors are Atlantic Roofing, Campus USA Credit Union, International Diamond Center, J.F. Hayden's Craft Liqueurs, Los Landeros Tequila, Meldon Law, Titan MRI and Imaging, UF Health Orthopedics. Our gridiron sponsors are Baker's Sports, Comfort Temp, Electronics World, Florida Cracker Kitchen, Florida Victorious, Gallo Car Wash, Miapa Latin Cafe, Peachland Dental, Quality Plumbing, Ruse Ogre State Farm, Silverback Concrete, 84 Lumber, Big Mills Cheesesteaks, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Gator Dominoes, Ironwood Golf Course, McDonald's of Gainesville, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, UF Bookstores, Advocare, and MG&A Wealth. Watch and listen to us live on Facebook and YouTube. Listen to the podcast whenever on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss any episodes. And if you want to advertise, give my man Freddie a call at 352-284-3733.
Hi there, this is Coach Steve Spurrier, and I want to let you know that by popular demand, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill's delicious brunch is now served in a premium buffet. You have spoken, we have listened, and we're now serving Gainesville's only elevated buffet, complete with an omelet station, ginger sage chicken sausage, shredded short rib, and of course our chicken and waffles. Plus, you can enjoy bottomless mimosas and Bloody Marys. So join us every Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 3 for the best brunch in town.
The jewelry store with the most likes, the most positive reviews, the most raving fans is International Diamond Center.
IDC is definitely a place that I will come to as long as I live here. This will be my go-to place always.
Literally the best jewelry store in town. You'll make friends for life coming in here. I felt like family from the beginning. The value was extraordinary.
I've got a beautiful diamond on my finger and I'm very proud of it.
International Diamond Center.
I'm very happy to show it off.
At Celebration Point and online at shopidc.com.
What's up, everyone? I'm Mike Pouncey, and this is my twin brother, Marquise Pouncey, and this is Life After Football. Let's go. We are the owners of Tropical Distillery, and JF Hayden's is our liqueur brand. We have 5 different flavors: a mango, a lychee, an espresso, citrus, and key lime pie. We pride ourselves on not only being a Florida-made brand, but also a cocktail solution. With that being said, cheers and go Gators.
All right, everybody, here we go. We've got 25 minutes or so to try to find some winners for the championship weekend in college football. A couple of NFL games to talk about as well. And if you are in the state of Florida and you'd like to sports gamble on your phone or on your PC or on your iPad, you can do it, of course, on the Hard Rock Sports Betting app. But now, just going live in Florida and other states such as Texas and places where it's not legal, you have something called Fanatics Markets. It's on the App Store. It was on CNBC. It will give you an alternative to the Hard Rock if you want to load the app and gamble. It's 100% legal. It's called a prediction market. I don't know much more about the ins and outs of the logistics or the differences in why that would be legalized when Hard Rock basically has a monopoly in this state. but it is here and it is downloadable and it is legal in Florida. It was on CNBC. You can pull up the CNBC website, cnbc.com, type in Fanatics Markets in the search, and it'll tell you the article will be right there. And they are going live in many, many states across the country. All right, so let's get with some picks. We'll look back at last week real quick during rivalry week. We had a pretty good week here on Win with JC. We went 7-4 for my calculations, with Alabama covering by a half over Auburn. We had Texas Tech in a blowout. We had Ohio State basically in a blowout, winning that game against Michigan. We had North Texas in a blowout and the over. We had Indiana covering, and we liked Mississippi to win in their game against Mississippi State. And we also had Iowa in a blowout against Nebraska. We lost the Georgia Bulldogs, minus 13.5 at Georgia Tech. We lost Texas A&M, thought they would try to, go into the SEC championship game undefeated. That did not work out as Texas beat them in Austin. And then we lost Tennessee. Tennessee lost outright to Vanderbilt. And we also lost the Pittsburgh-Miami game, catching 6.5. So 7-4, 8-4, pretty good record. And we're going to try to keep that going today with 4 college football games. Zach, my producer, Zach Rothrock, The Rock, is with us today. And
here we are.
Zach, look at all these conference championship games coming up. This is championship weekend, although I think you can put an asterisk on that damn ACC game, because never is a team with 5 losses and 3 in the conference, when only 2 counted, are they considered, in my mind, a candidate for a championship. Virginia is 10-2 in the ACC. There'll be about half the stadium full in that game. The game a lot of people are going to keep their eye on, right above Doreen's pretty little head right there, is BYU and Texas Tech. And the reason that game is vital to some other teams that are not playing is because if BYU were to win this game, that gets them in automatically as the Big 12 champion. And I don't think you're going to boot Texas Tech out, ranked number 4 right now, I believe, in the college football playoff rankings. I don't think you're going to boot them out with a loss to BYU, even though they beat BYU a couple weeks ago. So that would be 2 teams in the Big 12, and that takes a spot away from a Miami or a Notre Dame, or maybe even an Alabama team that gets beaten handily in Atlanta, which I don't think will happen either. But that's going to create some space perhaps for an American Conference winner between North Texas and maybe even Tulane, James Madison in their conference. They could, the Sun Belt winner, really the Sun Belt winner in the college football playoff, when you've got these other teams like Vanderbilt sitting out. It's not the 12 best teams, but I think it'll be all right too. No, but I think Virginia's beaten them. Now the question will be, is Virginia going to be as 17th ranked team? Would that championship, the ACC win against Duke, be enough to get them into the field? So we'll have to find out. Let's any opening thoughts for you as we go into championship weekend there?
Well, yeah, and the Heisman will be on the line, as you touched on with Shane a little bit. So, Dylan Pavia is going to be looking at that Ohio State and Indiana game and just hoping that both quarterbacks just completely crap the bed and he can go home with it. But yeah, man, I feel like the answer at the end of the day with that is going to be the boring answer. I think it actually will be Ohio State. I think it will be Julian Sayin, and Kirk Cignetti in Indiana will get a chance for redemption in the playoffs, but it will not be with a Big Ten championship, in my opinion.
And even if they don't win this game, they'll probably still stay in the top 4 with that undefeated record going in, and get an extra bye week. Remember, everybody gets a bye. Next week, it's Army-Navy. Nobody's going to play next week. That's basically a bye week until you get to the first round of the college football playoffs on December 18th for 1 game, and then December 19th with 3 games. Of course, if you'd like to chime in and join us here, Zach and I, you can do so on Facebook Live. You can do so on YouTube, and we'll try to get some of your picks in if you'd like to try that. The reason why Charles wants to know, why am I wearing an Ole Miss hat? I am wearing it because I am supporting those Rebels who lost their coach in the playoffs for whatever reason. I like that school. I don't know. They're not my alma mater. That's Alabama. We also got Texas Tech rolling here. So we'll start with the Red Raiders. Let's go to that game. Well, actually, let's start on Friday. Let's start today. Let's start today's games. We've got the Jacksonville State game in Conference USA. We're not going to spend a lot of time on this, but Kennesaw State has the best offense in Conference USA. They lead the conference in passing. They have they're very good offensively. Jacksonville State is very good defensively with 15 total takeaways. They have 16 takeaways in 8 games. They're the home team, but I'm taking Kennesaw State because I believe in that offense. So laying 2.5 with Kennesaw.
Yeah, and so I get that both of these offenses put up a lot of points, particularly Kennesaw State, but that number 60.5 on the point total, that feels huge for one of these big games, a conference championship type games. So I would tend to go under that total.
Under? Yep, I was thinking that as well. Troy and James Madison. This is a game where the Trojans, I think, have their backs against the wall. James Madison needs Duke to win the ACC. James Madison is 8-0 in the Sun Belt. Bob Chesney, their coach, is going to go to UCLA after their season is over, but he wants to coach them in the playoffs. James Madison's win margin in the Sun Belt is over 27 points per game. They are outscoring teams 340 to 120. Now, Troy is 6-2. They've got a 25-point win differential in those wins. They beat Southern Miss last week. Very impressive. I think JMU needs a statement. I don't like laying 23.5 in anything, and especially in a conference game. But this is a conference championship game. But this is a home game for JMU, and I'm going to take them minus 23.
Yeah, James Madison's offense, they put up numbers.
Pretty damn good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But like you said, 23.5 is an egregious. That's a lot. But the money line is so huge, there's no point. But that total 47.5, that feels really low for a game featuring such a high-powered offense as James Madison. So I think either way, if it's a close game, if it's a blowout, I think 47.5. I think they should go over that.
All right, we'll try that out and see how that goes. I love the over at 46.5 as well. We'll mark that down as well. So far we have you have an under in the Kennesaw State game, and we have an over in the Sun Belt game. At 8 o'clock tonight in the American Conference Championship game in New Orleans, this is where the Green Wave, your coach, Florida fans, John Summerall, there he is, roll Wave. The Wave at home against North Texas. I got the North Texas hat down there. Love them in Denton. This is a contrast of styles where you have two really good offenses against two defenses that I don't think they're that great. But Tulane has won 10 or more games in 3 of the last 4 seasons. This team knows how to win football games. Their quarterback is Jake Retzlaff. He came from BYU because he had sex. So they kicked him out of that school.
Oh, man.
Tulane said, come on down to New Orleans and have more sex with your girlfriend if you'd like. Yeah, that's a funny story. But Big Jake is also leading their team. That really cracked you up, didn't it, Zach?
I just wasn't ready for that.
Big Jake is leading their team in rushing. 561 yards rushing with 103 carries. That's basically 5 yards a carry or more. Meanwhile, North Texas's Drew Mestemaker, almost 4,000 yards passing. He leads the country with 3,855 yards passing. His touchdown to interception ratio, which I always look at with these quarterbacks, is 29-4. And here's the thing about North Texas. They've only kicked 13 field goals this season. Only 13, and 10 of those field goals was inside of 30 yards. These guys score touchdowns. This, to me, is an over. I know that number is insane. If the weather is good, check that weather, though. Make sure it's not windy in New Orleans. But this is 66.5 damn points. You might want to wait to see if these teams come out a little nervous and they go through the first quarter without any points on the board, perhaps, or just a field goal. That 66 will come crashing down into the 50s, and then maybe you pounce on it there. Or you just say, screw it. I'm taking the 66.5 and going over that game because these two teams will score a lot of points.
Man, that's very savvy. I really like the live betting idea if it starts off slow. Because if it starts off slow, it probably will pick up. I wish that only one of these teams was losing their coach, because then it would be easy to say, I want to pick the team that's keeping their coach. But man, North Texas, their offense is high flying. I like being on their side as often as I can. 2.5 points is not a lot for a game that is probably going to have such high scoring. I am with you on the over 66.5 as well, but I would also take North Texas.
Let's go quickly to Boise, Idaho. Again, we're short on time during this segment, so I'm trying to blow through this as fast as possible. But I'll be brief here with Boise State and UNLV. This game is on the blue turf in Boise. They won by 25 points, and they have 10 straight wins. They won by 25 points in the first matchup with Nevada, Las Vegas. They beat the Rebels 21-7 last year. They beat them 44-20 in 2023. The weather is going to be really wet and muggy and foggy, I should say. Lows in the 40s, not conducive to a lot of points being scored, as if this game were, say, in Las Vegas. I don't know. The total is 58.5, and I like the over, but something is screaming under for me in this game. And I think Boise State with a better defense than most. They're top 30 defense in EPA, expanded points added. Listen, I don't trust Vegas to win this game or even cover. I'm going to take Boise State. Boise State's laying 5. I like that. And as far as the total goes, I want to look at the weather and decide at game time.
Yeah, I think I'll just go with Boise State laying 4.5. They get to be the home team, and they get to take a mostly indoor team outdoors and what is supposed to be cold, wet, rainy weather. I would like the under 59.5 as well. Yeah, Boise's probably just going to beat them up and win by maybe 10 points or so is the way I see that one going.
All right, we'll go with that. Then we turn to Saturday in Arlington, 11 a.m. local time. This is a 12 noon kickoff here for us in the East. It's a rematch between Texas Tech, the Red Raiders, and BYU, catching 12.5 or 13, total 49.5. This is one of 4 regular season rematches that's going to be played on Saturday. Texas Tech won 29-7 in Lubbock on November 8th. The key in that game, though, was that the Red Raiders kicked 5 field goals in that game. They only scored 2 touchdowns, but BYU didn't score anything. And Texas Tech, to me, in Texas, in Arlington, they'll have a lot of fans there. It's not close to Lubbock, but it's easy to get to. I think Texas Tech, with that defense, keeps the score down. I like the under, and I think I like BYU with the points, but this will be a live bet for me. I want to see how these teams come out early. And if BYU gets scored on quickly, that number goes to 18 or 19. And then I'll take them. But if BYU stays close, maybe that number gets inside of 10, and then I think I like Texas Tech.
Yeah, this one's tough, and I don't have a ton of confidence because I do feel like Texas Tech is the superior team. I do feel like they could easily win this game in a blowout. But something about having Bear Brockmeyer as a freshman and the fact that he didn't play well in the first game, I think that they probably had some things to look at and they can learn from and get better at. And he's almost, as a freshman, he's too young to be afraid of the moment. I think he's just going to go out there and just sling the ball around. So, yeah, you tell me I can get that guy plus 12.5 points. I will take it, although somewhat reluctantly, because I do think Texas Tech is a far better team.
David Aronoff is correct, geographically speaking. Nothing is close to Lubbock. That is true. Texas is massive, but you can get on a plane in an hour and a half, be in Arlington, DFW Airport, and the stadium is 15 minutes away. So it's not a bad travel for the Red Raider fans. All right, we go then to the SEC championship game. These Georgia Bulldogs have to win this game at some point. They have to, right? I mean, they can't.
You would think so.
Every year they've played Alabama in the SEC championship game. Every single time they've played Alabama, they have lost. Kirby is 1-7. Alabama's won 10 out of 11. Georgia has to win at some point. It's not going to continue forever. I don't like Georgia. I will never like Georgia. That's a personal problem for me. But I think laying 2.5 is a pretty fair bet. But I'm rooting like hell for Alabama, and I'm going to wait for a live opportunity here. But I do like the under 48 points. I don't see either team running up the score. The score in the first game was 24-21. Right. Alabama jumped out to a 14-0 lead, and then Georgia really dominated the second half, and Alabama held on, and they scored 45 points, and that game was in Athens. But this is the second time in 3 years, the third time in 5 years, and the fourth time in 8 years that these two teams have played, and Georgia's played in 5 straight games, 5 straight SEC championship games. They have close wins versus Tennessee, Mississippi, Florida, and Georgia Tech. both teams are identical offensively and defensively. When you look at their yards per play, Georgia allows 5.8, Alabama allows 5.8 on offense. They allow 4.8 yards per play on defense. They gain 5.8 yards per play on offense. Both teams. Alabama is +8 in turnover margin. Georgia is -1. And if this game is close in the second half, then I think Alabama will have an advantage because Georgia knows they can't beat them. But we'll see what happens. Gunnar Stockton, 20 and 5 TD to interception ratio, 2,500 yards passing. Ty Simpson, if he gets any run support, is very dangerous. 3,000 yards passing. He's 25 to 4 touchdown to interception ratio. He had 276 yards and 2 touchdowns versus Georgia. He had no sacks and no picks in that first game. He was excellent. But Alabama can't run the ball. And I think Georgia, if I were going to play this game at kickoff, I like the 2.5, but I think I'm going to wait until it goes live and see who gets points and then take that team. I'm rooting like hell for Alabama. I may not bet it at all, probably. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely tough. I and many people assumed that when Nick Saban left Alabama that the boogeyman was leaving Alabama, but apparently Georgia did not get the memo. They still struggle with these guys. No. And with that being the case, I mean, laying 2.5 points, I mean, I'm not going to bet against Alabama when they're playing Georgia in the SEC championship game if I'm getting points with Alabama. I'm taking the 2.5. It's not a lot. It's hardly nothing, really. You might as well just take the Alabama money line.
I like it.
But I mean, Georgia just can't get past these guys. Until I see them do it, I'm not going to believe that they can or will do it. And I don't know. There's not any numbers I can look at or metrics I can look at that will make me feel otherwise.
Let's quickly go to the Big Ten Championship, and then we'll wrap it up with 2 quick NFL games that we like. Indianapolis, Indiana, Ohio State -4.5, total 48 over under. Listen, Indiana is a great team undefeated. Ohio State's a great team undefeated. Only 2 undefeated teams left. I don't know how good they are. I mean, Ohio State's 37th in strength of schedule. Indiana's 56th. I do know how good they are. They're quite good. They have great rosters. They have great athletes. Extremely good coached, well coached. Last year they played 38-15 Ohio State. This game will be a lot closer. A lot of eyes going to be on Mendoza and saying, but watch Carnell Tate and Smith for Ohio State, and watch this Omar Cooper on the outside for Indiana catching balls. Ohio State's averages only allowing 3 yards per play on defense. That tells me under in this game. I think both teams will be nervous. Bo Jackson over 100 yards in 4 of his last 5 games. Ohio State's going to run the ball, keep the clock running. Ohio State, I think, is the play, but I'm rooting for Indiana.
Switcheroo. Yeah, the over-under at 47.5 is low, and it will be in a controlled environment. So that is somewhat concerning. I like to do a thing where before I look at a game, I try to guess what I think the point spread should be and what would make me feel comfortable with going with the underdog. And for this game, I didn't think this number would get this high, but I was thinking I wouldn't go with Indiana unless that number looked like about 9.5, 10. And instead, the number we got is 4.5. Ohio State's got the best top-to-bottom roster in the country. When it comes to championship week, the better, more talented team wins more often than not. You see far less upsets. It's the boring pick, but it's the vegetable pick, and it's the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Okay, so I think we're both on the same page. Yeah, I was going to say Indiana with those points. If they get more than 4.5 in some sort of live setting and the game seems competitive, I can jump on Indiana at that point. NFL real quick. We've only got a few minutes left here, Zach. The 2 games that I'm going to keep my eye on, I'm going to watch them all, of course. But the 2 games, Chicago, who is at 9-3, number 1 in the NFC, at Green Bay, all right? Yeah. Getting 6.5. Why are they getting 6.5? That just screams to me, take Green Bay. But I don't know what the weather's going to – I don't know what I don't know what the weather is going to be up there. It's probably going to be just, like it always is. Cold and cloudy and so forth. But if it's not windy, I like the Bears to keep this close. But I'm not sure about Jordan Love. One week he looks great, the next week he doesn't. I think I'm just going to stay with the Magic and buy Chicago up to 7 and see if I can hold on there.
Oh, yeah. I'm with – I mean, I don't love the idea of Caleb Williams playing in the weather, but the whole Chicago as a team, especially with their rushing attack on offense, I like them playing in bad weather for sure. And so I think they'll be able to handle it, and that's way too many points.
Then we have a real threat of rain down here in Florida this weekend in Jacksonville. The big game for the Jags and Colts. Big game. But it's going to be very wet. Jacksonville's catching 1.5. I'm going to take them. I think the Colts are slumping. I think their quarterback is not feeling 100%, and I think Jacksonville can key on Jonathan Taylor. If that's the case, I love Jacksonville's chance. Plus, that stadium is a house of horrors for the Colts. It has been historically.
Oh, yeah.
And Jacksonville is playing good football right now. For the most part, they are the 3 seed in the AFC. That's incredible. They win this game, they have a foothold on. If they win this game, they have a foothold on the conference or on the division, I should say, and staying at 3 in the conference guarantees them a home game. Yeah, so let's hope for Jacksonville.
Yeah, I think the wrong team's favored in that. Danny Doms is beat up at the moment. He's not going to be able to run like he has. That's going to let them focus on Jonathan Taylor. It's outdoors. The Colts don't play well outdoors. A lot of things pointing the Jags' way.
Any games you're seeing other than those 2 in the NFL that you want to give our listeners and viewers a chance to review?
Well, I mean, I feel like I've been kind of on a hot streak, either picking on or riding with the Cleveland Browns. So I mean, why not go back to that? I mean, they get the Tennessee Titans at home. The Cleveland Browns defense is good enough to just eliminate whoever plays quarterback for them. Cam Ward's not going to be able to move the ball hardly at all. The Browns are laying 4 points against Tennessee. I like the Browns to cover that. I guarantee you, everybody in a survivor pool who probably hasn't taken Cleveland, this is the time to take them, I think. Because you're really going against Tennessee. They're still there. If you're still playing Survivor in Week 14,
you can take if you are, and then you take the Browns, and then next week you're waiting for the Eagles and Raiders. It's pretty simple. Or the 49ers and Titans next week. You get the 49ers at home against Tennessee next week. You can survive you can survive 2 weeks if the Browns beat Tennessee, if you take them. Because you probably haven't taken them this year. That's a good pick. Go ahead. What else?
And then one last one that I like is the Cincinnati versus Buffalo over 53.5. I don't think they can put that total high enough for the Cincinnati can't stop anyone and they can't be stopped.
That's right. Well, I tell you, they look pretty good against Baltimore. I think that team changes when Joe Burrow hits the field, but he has to stay healthy and he has to be protected. Well, Zach, that's all the time we have. Thank you so much for stepping in and helping me out today. Everybody, good luck on championship weekend and good luck in the NFL. Good luck with your bets, and let's talk about it and celebrate at the cashier's window this weekend. We'll see you on Monday.